are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite. This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television Star Times Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, and UHF Channel 38.
Sir, can you please give us the permission to search you? You can go.
Is this a movie? If it happened.
Officer, I beg carry and go station. When our Oga come, you come meet am for there.
Hey, Mr. Man, I cannot do that.
Tell your guy to come to our station when he returns.
Am I in a movie? If it happen,
Mama, please.
Mama, please.
Thank God you're here. Do the needful.
Mama, please, just 3 weeks
Madam,
now.
why did you invite us to come help chase your tenant now?
This is a civil matter now.
Is this a movie? If it happen,
If we follow
The new police law.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to today's program. My name is Isa No. But then let us just look at this issue, what happened last week at the KUJE Correctional Center. 24 minutes to the airport road, 1 hour to the State House is the KUJE prison. KUJE is a satellite town housing over 97,367 people according to the 2006 census. And the correctional facility in Abuja, and when you look at all that happened last week, this facility was hit by gunmen on the night of June 5. About 300 Islamic states in West African province who claimed that they were the one that launched the attack on the KUJE medium correctional facility. An operative of the Nigerian Civil Defense, Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, securing the prison, was killed, and as well as 4 inmates. After the alarming incident at KUJE Correctional Center, the Nigerian Correctional Service has released the photograph of 69 inmates, including Boko Haram insurgents who escaped from the custodial center that night. The Islamic State of West Africa has claimed responsibility for the raid on the prison. KUJE, which is with that amount of 97,367, definitely was tensed as of that moment. But then, when this attack happened, 300 Islamic State West African province were the ones that launched the attack on the medium correctional facility. And as a result of that, we've seen so many issues coming up with that. But then let us also look at this statement by the Minister of Defense, who said 64 Boko Haram inmates escaped from that facility. Let us also take a look at this again. This is what the police minister Afia said, Megari Dingyadi said. You see, this kind of thing happens, and I want to assure you all, those who are supposed to play a role in ensuring that the attack is neutralized, did the best that they could do to neutralize it. He also mentioned that it helped them was the number of people that came with and the superior weapons they came with. He's referring at this particular point to those people that came carried out the attack, that they came with superior weapon. And he further also noted that, and because of nobody anticipated such, the few people could not withstand the number that they came with. I think that's what happened, according to him. But then let us also look at what, or listen to what the Minister of Interior said in person of Aregbesola. Aregbesola said his ministry is in charge of correctional centers across the country and was not on the same page with the Minister of Police Affairs. We have a world-class custodial facility here by any standard And then he said he was disappointed by the level of defense by the team that was put to protect the facility. He further stated that they have enough men and officers to protect the facility, but unfortunately they could not hold their position effectively for defense, and that was the reason for the breach. According to Aregbesola, it said, if fortification for security is determinant of whether it is medium or maximum, it is medium by the size, but maximum by the security provided. According to him, he also said that they have a platoon of military officers and men deployed to that particular location. That's the fighting wing of the army in the most sophisticated battle. So what are they talking about? We are here at the highest grade of military, police, and other security forces of deployment in that particular center. So Dingyasi's claim that the defenders were overpowered because the attackers were more in number and better armed is not in line with what Aregbesola said. So these are two positions by the two ministers. So when you look at all that has happened, let me take you back. That over some years now, we've had a series of attacks in most of our correctional centers. And if you remember, in October 19, 2020, the Oko prison in Edo State was attacked. And then followed by October 21, 2020, the Benin prison was also attacked, with 1,993 inmates escaped from the two facilities. So also we have in October 22, 2020, Okitipupa prison break with 58 inmates released. And then April 4, 2021, we have the Owerri prison break with 1,844 inmates freed. September 13, 2021, Kaba prison break in Kogi State with 240 inmates freed. October 22, 2021, Abolongo prison in Oyo State also had 837 inmates escaped. Maximum security prison attacked, that's in July 29, 2021, with 4 inmates escaped. And then November 28, 2021, just medium security prison attacked, with 262 inmates released. So when we continue with all these statistics, it all runs back to what had happened just some days back. And when you look at the question we need to ask ourselves is, how secured are our prison centers? So there are a series of them. And as we continue with the program, you'll definitely get to know more about the attack that happened in KUJE. How do we stop it? What are the things we need to put in place? In place like KUJE, where the locals are threatened, what are the necessary instruments we have to use to guide those that always live around these prison centers? Now that the NDLA just yesterday also caught one of those that escaped, there are a series of questions on how do we get the remaining. So this is what we'll be discussing this morning with our guests in person of Dr. Abdul Ghaffar Abdulwasiu, who will be joining us from Saudi Arabia, and also we'll also be joined by Dr. Kamaruddin Adegboyega, who will be joining us from Kwara State. He's a lecturer in Ahmadu Bello University Department of Sociology. So let's go on this short break, and once we return, we start up with the conversation.
Senator Ahmed Lawan decried lack of closed-circuit television CCTV cameras at the KUJE Correctional Custodial Center as a major concern. He expressed dissatisfaction over the porous nature of the correctional center, making the attackers to have free access to unleash terror almost unhindered.
We'll ask more questions, and of course with the support of our consultants, we need to find what should be a medium security prison in the city. Because this facility, honestly, is not fit to be called a medium security correctional center.
He also alleged the possible involvement of an insider who might have provided information to the bandits. The President of the Senate disclosed that thorough investigation will be carried out by relevant committees in the National Assembly until those involved were fished out and brought to book. Senator Ahmed Lawan maintained that reasonable amount of money will be proposed in the next budget to ensure CCTV cameras are installed at the facility.
Are all on the same page at the end of the day to make this facility and others elsewhere, because if this is what it is in the FCT, in other areas far away from the center of government will be worse.
Yes.
That's the possibility. And we cannot afford to have criminals taking over our facilities and discharging their colleagues and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, that complicates further the security situation that we are in already. So you should be very supportive when relevant committees like Committee on Interior and other security-related committees.
About 300 bandits were said to have attacked the KUJE Correctional Custodial Center this week and freed over 600 of their own. Topsy Gimba, ASO Television News.
Over the last 1 month, we've had a series of chaotic events in Nigeria, and this gives cause for concern and alarm. What are those events? Well, first of all, about a month ago, you had a situation whereby herdsmen and ISWAP warriors, as some would call them, went into a church in Owo and killed no less than 50 people. Next event, about a week later, that's 3 weeks ago, you had a situation where ISWAP warriors, bandits they call them in some parts, attacked and killed no less than 90 people in Zamfara State. Next event, not too long after that, approximately 1 week or so ago, or just over a week ago in Niger State, ISWAP warriors attacked a community in Niger State and killed no less than 45 people, 30 of them soldiers. And finally, just a few days ago, ISWAP warriors attacked KUJE prison and bombed their way in, freeing no less than 600 people, 300 of whom were recovered later and found. And of the 300, according to the Ministry of Defense, over 60 of them were Boko Haram fighters. As a matter of fact, every single Boko Haram fighter in that facility was freed and has not been found ever since. I know that facility very well. It was built by the British. I was locked up there for some time, and it really is quite an extraordinary place. It's actually hidden. They targeted that facility and freed their fellow terrorists. Now, the most disturbing thing about this is that there's clearly an orchestration behind the whole thing. 1 month, all these events, and countless others long before then. The interesting thing is that when it came to the KUJE prison attack, the DSS informed the military about precisely what was going to happen and told the military where those boys were, and nothing was done about it. The military ignored these warnings. Where those boys were hiding, they were left alone, they were not rooted out, and they...
Has been said with regards to the situation of the security around KUJE axis. And then when you look at everything that has been said, definitely we need people to really look at this, most especially professionals in that field. And one of them is the passing of Dr. Kamaruddin Adegboyega, who has just joined us from Kwara State this morning. Dr. Adegboyega is a lecturer in the Department of Sociology in Ahmadu Bello University. Good morning, Dr. Adegboyega.
Good morning.
Yes, it's nice having you this morning,
to
looking at the security situation in the country. What is your take with the general security condition of our country now?
Good morning, the coordinator.
Good morning, I'm hearing you.
And good morning to all Nigerians. To be sincere, the state of security in Nigeria is unfortunate because almost every part of the country today is affected by different forms: kidnapping, banditry, terrorism, Boko Haram, ritual killings, robbery, among others. And it is unfortunate that the political elites are yet to understand challenges that we are faced with in the contemporary life. And then some of us are worried because there's nothing that can happen meaningfully, positively, if there's no security of lives and property. And those that are given the mandate to secure the nation are failed woefully. And we need to put it right in the right position that the way we are going is like Nigeria is moving towards what is called, what can be called state of nature, where life is sources, where life is, is brutish, and everybody becomes a master to himself or herself. It's very unfortunate. Thank you.
Okay, now, just of recent, we had the issue of the KUJE prison break, of which inmates escaped from that facility, most especially the Boko Haram inmates that were released by their colleague. But then, if you look at all this that had happened, how do you think these persons serve as threats with the current condition we have?
First of all, we need to look at the why. The why of the what? Why must we experience attacks at a very sensitive correctional center in Abuja? How did this happen? Because if you don't know the why, then you cannot even talk of the implications. It's supposed that you have a very sensitive correctional service at Abuja, and you know the kind of people attack the center, and nobody's saying anything. Because some of us begin to look at it as if it's like there is a conspiracy somewhere that just go and do something and make sure that you release this group of people, either political or ethnic solidarity, so to speak. That is number one. Before we talk of the implications, number two is that since last week, when this attack occurred, we have not even heard any meaningful intelligence reports about who are supposed to be at that venue in terms of security personnel. What happened? Where did they go? Who asked them to leave to vacate that facility? That's the second thing. The third one is that you have a correctional center at Abuja, and there are no traces of CCTVs. Whereas each minister in Nigeria, each commissioner in Nigeria, each senator in Nigeria has CCTV in his or her private apartment. Because if you have CCTV, you can get details, who came in, how they came in, among other things like that. So without even understanding those things, it's difficult for us to even look at the implications. Because when you look at implications, in terms of what? Security-wise, economic-wise, future of the country, among others. And then, by the time you look at the implications, it's very easy to say that the country is moving towards a failed state. Because when Abuja is not secured, how do you secure other states in the country? How do you even secure Asuro, where Mr. President and his entourage are managing, at least are staying to control the affairs of the country? So the implications is very alarming, security-wise, wise, and also about the image of the country, because Nigeria today is not secured for the citizens, not talk of the people who have to come from other countries to give us one or two support. So it's unfortunate.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, with what you've stated, let us also join one of our colleagues, one of a specialist, most especially, is an expert in defense, and that is currently residing in Saudi Arabia. He just left Nigeria of recent. With all that is happening. Let us also listen to his own part of the issue that we raised this morning. So good morning to you, Dr. Abdul Ghaffar.
Well, good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fine, and I hope you are doing great in Saudi Arabia this morning.
Alhamdulillah, we're doing great. We're fine, and I hope you're good. You are good also with the people of Nigeria. I hope we're all having a safe and safer daily activity within the entire country today.
Okay, let us go straight to the issue we are discussing this morning. Just of recent, the KUJE medium prison was attacked, and inmates were released. And there was claimed by them, the ISWAP, that's Islamic State of West Africa, to have carried out that attack. What can you say with respect to this?
I want to thank you for inviting me to this program. And this is an issue that is not unexpected. It's an issue that is not unexpected because at least within 2 years or thereabout ago, we have had intelligence reports as well as by terrorists that they will make sure that they release their brothers wherever they are, not just in Nigeria, but let me tell you, it is a point of solidarity, among terrorists that whenever they have any of their brothers captured or detained in any facility in the world, it is part of the solidarity matter to make sure that they break such facilities. It is on clear record. Documents are available in this regard, and it's obvious that the world knows about it. But the disturbing reality is what happened to the Nigerian security. Didn't they get such reports that high-level detention facilities must be safeguarded at all costs? Or was it the fault of some officials? Or was it deliberate connivance with others? These are the issues that we need to ask. But in as much as we know that the deed has been done, what is the way forward is more important than how we got ourselves into this mess. What is the way forward, I think, is a better deal. Or ask ourselves what's the way forward, I think most of the better deals are, we must start by having what you call a complete pragmatic approach towards security, which will cover insecurity. Because as we are right now, the same security has been left deliberately to, it seems security has been left to only the security officials. And that's a major lacuna in governance. I think if there's going to be a way forward for Nigerian security and for security in our country, we must get it right by engaging all stakeholders among the citizens, in particular the youths of the country. The youths of the country can do a lot to help stem the tide of insecurity. Why or how? They have the largest number among the populace. They can see the nook and crannies of their villages and their towns, the youth are mostly those that take the later part of the night and the earlier part of the mornings. They know who comes in or goes out from within their villages or towns. So I think the youths will do a lot when engaged appropriately by the government, either the local governments or the state governments, or as well the federal governments, as regards this insecurity in particular. So I think it's going to be a very good thing if a particular program or particular, I mean, process is being developed, as well as being made to work. That is an actionable plan where the major vanguards and the major movers of security interests of the nation should be and must be accepted to be the youths, so that they will get the intelligence, they will know where these guys are moving through, that is where these bad guys are moving through or passing through. They will see them because they are always available, and they will know who are the new guys in their city or their villages or their local governments. These youths will know everything. And so it is a major, a major error to not involve the youths in what actually affects them mostly right now. If you see some countries or some other parts of the country that are ready to change narrative of insecurity, they have already gotten the pattern of engaging the youths, not on the basis of tribalism only, but rather pragmatic efforts to make sure that the youths are more of like the guards of the villages or the guards of their towns, where you see them having like city gates or city whatever, so that whoever is coming in, they know them. Particular points or routes that used to come into the villages or the towns, they use them there. And they watch who are those that are new, who are those that are not part of us, that are coming in. So when the youths are involved, the police will not be an addition, that is, they will be like a support group. Why? Because when there's any issue of a breach of security, the first thing you do is you use to alert the police. And that is where the police have to be what? Have to be armed and have to be focused and have to be ready as well.
You've raised two major. You've raised. Let me just come in at this point. You've raised some major question because if you look at what you've said, you've identified the youth as one of the movers of security within the country based on their demography. That's one. And then the second issue you raised has to do with also intelligence, which is very, very critical for the institutions to work effectively. And that's what I call structural functionalism. Because when the structures get this information, they'll be able to function properly. And then the third you've also raised is getting community involved in fighting insecurity. But then let me also ask you on this, because before now, we've had a series of attacks by bandits in the northwestern part of the country and in the north central. Just on that same day, the presidential advance team was attacked when they were on their way to Dauradas before the Sadler break. And then also on that same day, there was an attack in a particular area in Katsina State, killing the DPO of a police station. Now, before these things happen, the information most often are always there. I can remember the DSS also released statements on that day of this attack that this information we are giving that, look, this attack is of high risk. And also, if you look at what happened during the Abuja-Kaduna train attack, the DSS before then has released so much information, but it seems certain set of persons are not working. But then that's allowed for you to have your own take on that. And then thirdly, after the attack, there was the release of some captives by the bandits. I think some money were paid, and the rest. So when you look at all these things, the youth probably have not been fully engaged with all that is happening. But we cannot run away from the fact that the intelligence is there. But why are people not acting?
This is one of the toughest questions one could probably get with the day. It's because it's obvious that when you have a problem and you are told about the problem prior to the time of occurrence of that problem, it's like you have been given a solution of that problem. So, this question you've asked me right now is a question we'll have to ask those that are mandated with this job to secure either the prisons or to secure the highways. And the moment you passing through highways is usually particular stops, different kilometers. There are some people that are actually in charge of those particular highways. In the whole of Nigeria, that's how it happens. The moment you have 10 to 15 kilometers along a particular route, there is someone in charge, either the police or whatever that is in charge of the security of that general access. So the question is, where were they during the passage of the presidential convoy which was attacked, or who was in charge of that particular highway? Then I think we should start taking too much interest in asking Mr. President to come down to Daura or to Okene or to a part of maybe Ekpo in Lagos to solve our problems of insecurity. The man on ground around that Okene, Ekpe, around those particular points, the man that is mandated to do that work there, the one that was what? Sanctioned. No, it is not absolving the president of his responsibilities, but to tell you that a man has been given a job, the salary, the privileges, the emoluments that he's getting for being given that appointment, he does not complain about them. Then why should he complain about the job when the real task of that appointment comes up? If you are getting the privilege and the allowances of being a DPO or an area commander, then you should also be getting the lashes and the castigation, and as well as the punishment if you fail to deliver. So that is where we are coming back to the concept of punishment and reward system within the Nigerian security architecture, and which is a major problem and we are facing today. Somebody has to answer for these places that have been breached by by insecurity, and that is where the job of the government to confirm and correct such anomaly. When there's a breach of security in a place that has a head, a serving DPO or a serving area commander or whatever, it is the work of the government to sanction that person so that we know who are they, and are they collaborators or they have actually deliberately declined from living up to the security or living up to their mandate of what the government has given them to do. These are questions that we should get back to those people, and the government should actually sanction it on those individuals that have responsibilities of their general areas, particularly the prisons or wherever. Thank you.
Okay, Abdul Ghaffar, I will expect you to still be there because this program is a program that will also allow people to call in and then make their submission known to us. Most especially, we'll be expecting people from that axis, KUJE area, to also call in and tell us what actually happened, despite the fact that we've gotten 1 or 2 reports from ASO radio and TV reporters along that axis. And also, let me also inform you that some of them, actually, most especially those Boko Haram who are also threats to the Nigerian populace, some of them have been caught and then been returned back. Yesterday, the NDLEA also caught one of them while he was trying to leave the city of Abuja. But these are things that definitely we still have to talk more on. And I expect you to still be there so that we can have a better discussion. So let's go on this short break. And when we return, we continue with the conversation.
Mr. President, last Saturday, the country which I have the honor to represent, the Federation of Nigeria, became independent and assumed the rights and the responsibilities of a sovereign state. Today, Nigeria has been admitted into the United Nations organization and assumes still more responsibilities. I wish to make our position plain beyond any matter of doubt as regards the African continent. We in Nigeria appreciate the advantages which the size of our country and of its population give us, but we have absolutely no aggressive intentions. We shall never impose ourselves upon any other country and shall treat every African territory, big or small, as our equal, because we honestly feel that it is only on that basis of equality that peace can be maintained in our continent. We in Nigeria are a populous country. There are about 40 million of us, and our territory is relatively large. We are willing to learn before we rush into the field of international politics. But we are totally unwilling to be diverted from the ideals which we think true. That is the reason, Mr. President, why we in Nigeria shall not be found to align ourselves as a matter of routine with any particular bloc. Indeed, I hate the very idea of blocs existing at all in the United Nations. It seems to me to be a contradiction in terms. When we hear the world crying out for peace, we may receive the inspiration to deal with these intractable problems and be able really to devote all our resources to the advancement of mankind by applying those eternal truths which will inevitably persist long after we ourselves are utterly forgotten. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, welcome back. I'm still on the issue of insecurity and the KUJE prison break. And let us quickly we'll go back to Dr. Adegboyega Kamaruddin. Doctor, I'm sorry we had to keep you waiting so that you can fix up your camera. But then, what is your take now that this issue has happened, and looking at the election that is forthcoming in Nigeria? Definitely, if the insecurity continues, it will not be the best for us. So how do we manage this situation at this particular point in time?
Thank you, Madam Isa. This insecurity is one problem but too many. And if we must fix the challenge, if we must address the problem, we need to be sincere with ourselves as a country. And we have to look at it from two dimensions and the need for synergy. Macro synergy. Just like what Dr. Afghani rightly said, that there's need for the communities, different communities, to be involved in security matters in Nigeria. But unfortunately, In Nigeria today, the masses have been disempowered by political elite. Political elite have marginalized the masses. People are poor. People are unemployed. We are talking of youth. Youth should be involved. Youth should be engaged. What are the conditions of the youth in Nigeria in terms of economic, political strength, among others? Number two, we talk of police or security apparatus. The security apparatus in this country has collapsed. You have police that are not well paid. You have police that are using outdated equipment. You have police who died on duty and nobody is saying anything. Recently in Nigeria, we all knew what happened when the political actors were planning for their primary elections. All the major parties, APC, PDP, among others. Was there any form of attack in Eagle Square? At Eagle Square, sorry. They were able to secure the place properly, and the primary elections were very peaceful. Why is it that we cannot sustain that legacy? It's just because our political leaders, they are highly selfish. They don't love us. And then, when you hear that attack happened, you made arrest. Are you not supposed to ask questions? Who are their sponsors? These people, are they ghosts? For the past few years now, we have been experiencing attacks against one correctional facilities or the other. It's a regular occurrence. How many people have been arrested? Among those people that were arrested, how many of them were tried? Among those that were tried, how many of them at least were punished according to the law? When you look at we have been talking of a KUJE prison attack. Look at what happened at Owo of recent. Look at what is happening in Kaduna State. Look at what's happening in different parts of the country. To say the least, look at the recent happened against the convoy of the Mr. President. Now, we have not received any comprehensive report about who did what, why, and in whose interest. Because if you don't prioritize, we need to ask questions. Security in whose interest? Is it security for the political elite? Is it security for the citizens of the country? Because when you look at Nigerian political elite, they love themselves that whatever it takes for them to be secured, they will do it at the expense of the state. But when it comes to the citizens, nobody cares. Nobody cares. And these are things that are giving some of us what can be called hopeless situation. Now, for many years, at least for months now, universities in Nigeria are closed down. Is it not a security threat? And instead of the government to wake up and say, if at all, if the lecturers or the unions are asking for something that's more than the capacity of the state, is it not normal for you to call these people? Let us see what we can do so that this matter does not go beyond this level. But yesterday, what we hear is that Mr. President is threatening that enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Doctor, let me quickly draw your attention on this because you see the issue of insecurity is something that is very, very painful that we are at this particular point in time where things are not going the way we expected. These are issues, and also our hope is that very soon the issue between the federal government and ASU will be solved. And since the president has paid another attention to it over the weekend, I listened to that clip this morning. But now, when you look at this current predicament that we are facing, is there hope that we are going to manage this situation as early as possible? Because now, these terrorists that are out of that camp or out of the custodial center, they are still probably around Abuja, or they are started traveling out of Abuja. So what is the threat level? What do you think the threat level is presently?
The threat is unimaginable. And, when you allow to mingle freely, it's a problem to the entire country as a whole, because these people, as they are suspects, and with what they have done, I don't think nobody should trust them anywhere they go to. And this is and this is the high time for the security architecture. You know, in Nigeria we have all the security agents. Talk of DSS. One thing is something is leaking.
Issue of the threat level
among all the security apparatus we have in this country. Everybody operates independently, because you can't just tell us that at least within 24 hours, people disappear from correctional services, and though we learned that some of them at least have been rearrested and returned back to the prison custody. But that is not enough. Now over a week, how many of them at least have been rearrested? How many of them at least are back? Those that were rearrested, what were the delegate report that were gotten from them? Who were their sponsors? Who manipulated ways for them to be released illegally? How many people at least have been released? How many who are the sponsors of it? Because these are not just ordinary criminals. These are high caliber, high level, very strong networking. And it's like the way I look at it, these people that are perpetrating insecurity, they are even more organized than the authorities that are in charge of the security in Nigeria. Because if they are not more organized, how would they penetrate KUJE prison at that very particular time of the day, as if it's just ordinary village? But that one has gone. You know that we just have to be very vigilant as individuals, and we should not leave security to the official apparatus. You know, people have been agitating for community policing, community security. We cannot leave it to the government alone. We need to work hard to see that any information that is welcome to be given to the security officials, and is to use it accordingly.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Adegboyega. Let us quickly have a take from Dr. Abdul Ghaffar. Dr. Abdul Ghaffar, you've heard what Dr. Adegboyega have said. So what is your take on that?
I think he has made a very important point. Firstly, the interest of security that we are speaking about is not about government official security. No, it's security meant for each and every Nigerian, poor or rich. It doesn't matter the status that Nigerian have it. The most important thing is the Nigerian should be secure. That is what we want to emphasize. Security should not be about the officials of the government. It should be about every citizen, meaning that the interest should not be about the political class. The interest should be about every Nigerian. That is where we'll get really time security.
But are you an advocate? Are you an advocate of the civilian joint task force? You've seen the success they recorded in Borno State during the Boko Haram time. Are you one of those advocates?
No, obviously, if I want to talk about my advocacy, it's not about civilian joint task force alone. We're talking about a multi-approach format for security. You see, there is what we call the forest guards. I don't know if you know that, please. Forest guards.
Yes, I know them.
The forest guards are one of the best people that could help us tame insecurity in Nigeria. Do you know why?
No, you can make us know that.
This is because insecurity actually thrives in places that are ungoverned. Forests that nobody exists there, open lands that large trees and whatever. These are the places that insecurity thrives in the country. It's not that's like the warehouse where insecurity comes out. Just so the people in the cities and villages and goes back into its den. Do you understand?
Okay. Dr. Abdul Ghaffar, I truly appreciate your time and for you to have joined us this morning. And unfortunately, yesterday we couldn't get you, but now that we've established a major communication with you, we'll be expecting more from you with regards to your take on the happenings in Nigeria. This is how far we can go on the program, the Roundtable, this morning. And I also want to appreciate Dr. Kamaruddin Adegboyega of the Department of Sociology, who joined us from Kwara State this morning. Doctor, we so much appreciate, and we hope to have more of you on the Roundtable to give us insights about things we don't know well. And then we also want you to also enlighten us and our students for the betterment of the country. So this is how far we can go today on the program, the Roundtable. My name is Isa Nu. Have a wonderful day and stay blessed until we meet again tomorrow.